What is going on, y'all? Narang from LocksDFS.com. I'm going to bring you the Locks DFS MLB breakdown, where I'm going to be breaking down this 5-game main slate on DraftKings and FanDuel for Wednesday, April 3rd. A couple of things before I get into that. First off, if you guys want to follow me on Twitter, you can do so right here at ReallyAddy. It's where you can ask me questions if you have MLB DFS questions, NHL DFS questions, just general DFS strategy questions. You can ask me right here. And you can just keep up to date with my tweets. I like to think of myself as a funny guy. So if you want to keep up to date with me, you can do so right here. That's enough self-promotion for one video. If you guys do want to get a pass, though, this is some promotion that I genuinely feel even stronger about. We've had an awesome start to our baseball season. Our content has been great. Our members have really been enjoying it, and it's only going to expand and get better as we develop our new website, which should be up very, very soon. So if you guys do want to get yourself a pass, the season pass is in the store right now, locksdfs.com/shop. 2019 MLB season pass, $200, month pass, $40, a great way to try it out. And if you want to try us out for all our sports, $74.95 a month. I think it's a great value. I think it's something you guys will definitely enjoy. So go ahead and check it out if you are interested. And if you want a chance to win a season pass for free, go ahead and just leave a like and comment on this video, and then you will be entered into our weekly giveaway that we run every single week. We announce the winner every Monday, but what we like to do is give back to our most active watchers, most active subscribers. Anyone who's really leaving likes, leaving positive comments on these videos, we just like to give back to y'all as a token of our appreciation. We'll let you choose a free season pass of your choice. Everyone who's won so far has chosen baseball, so I think it makes a lot of sense to choose baseball as well. So, but again, it's up to you. It's totally up to you. So definitely leave a like, leave a comment if you do enjoy the video, and if you do want to be entered into this giveaway. So that's 2 minutes not talking about baseball. So now let's get into baseball. It's a short 5-game slate. Pretty straightforward, and so just a few primary spots you want to target a pitcher, a few primary spots you want to go to for bats. So we'll keep this as short as we can. So Garrett Cole, he's going to be by far and away the chalkiest SP1 option, and I'm going to be right in line with everyone else here. I mean, he's the most dominant pitcher on the slate. These are his 2018 numbers, 14.45 K per 9 to lefties, 10.37 to righties, and that goes along with a 2.63 xFIP to lefties and a 3.44 xFIP to righties. The thing you want to really note here is how much better his numbers are versus lefties than righties. Obviously, he has dominant numbers versus righties, but that 2.63 xFIP with a 14.45 K per 9, that's a 41% strikeout rate to lefties, is absolutely like... That's insane. And who even has a landline anymore? I don't know why I have that. But with that being said, those numbers are reflected in his first 2019 start versus lefties. Obviously, this is like a 7-inning sample size, but 0.88 xFIP versus lefties. It's slightly increased strikeout rate versus lefties. Garrett Cole is just dominant. And the reason I bring up his numbers versus lefties primarily is because this lineup that Texas is going to roll out is going to be heavily left-handed. It's going to have at least probably 6, maybe even 7 lefties in there, which for a regular pitcher, you wouldn't want so many guys having the platoon advantage versus your righty pitcher. But in this case, for guys like Garrett Cole, guys that have these dominant breaking balls that they can throw inside to lefties, like Garrett Cole has this has like a slider, has a curveball that he can throw and get lefties out. Sort of similar to Justin Verlander, who didn't succeed too much in this matchup, but I think that was more of a walks issue more than anything else. But Garrett Cole in this spot, I mean, I could see him striking out quite a few guys and probably putting up the highest score of all starting pitchers. So definitely going to have a ton of exposure to him as my highest priced starting pitcher. But if you do plug him in, it already cuts your salary for bats by a big chunk. I love Ross Stripling here. We could see him on a pitch count, but he's going up against a really, really weak team. It's going to be a tough build fitting both of these guys in. Only leaves you $35.50 per bat. So I think you're going to have to come down a little bit. And for me, that's going to be Jameson Taillon. Few notes on Jameson Taillon. He's dominant versus right-handed bats. This is 2018 numbers last year. 2.86 xFIP to righties with a K per 9. Just around one strikeout per batter. 4.29 xFIP to lefties, a little bit under a K per 9. But he does significantly better at home, at least in 2018. And I guess it makes sense because PNC Park is a very pitcher-friendly ballpark, one of the more pitcher-friendly ballparks in all of baseball. So a 10.31 K per 9 at home, 3.09 xFIP. But the thing you really want to note with Jameson Taillon is on May 27th, he implemented a new pitch. It was a slider. You can see his numbers in March, April were all right, pretty good. In May, he kind of dropped off a bit, but then he added that slider, and his xFIP instantly increased 3.61, 3.35, 3.67, 3.25 in the following months. That slider really turned his whole repertoire around, where he didn't have to rely so heavily on his fastball. He could mix in, he could throw that slider for strikes as well as a strikeout pitch outside of the zone. The matchup he has is obviously a tough one versus a really talented St. Louis offense. But the thing that they do is they do lean heavily right-handed. A lot of their big bats, Goldschmidt, DeYoung, Ozuna, Yadi, all these guys in the heart of their lineup lean right-handed. So that does give Jameson Taillon a slight platoon advantage against them. And it's a low team total for St. Louis. I believe they opened up at 3.8. If this could load. Yeah, they opened up at 3.8, which is what you're looking for when you're paying down at your second SP2 spot. I didn't mention the Texas Rangers team total. I mean, they opened at 4. They've dropped to 3.7 with massive line movement on Houston. So just all the more reason to love Garrett Cole there. But that'll do it for pitcher. Now we'll go ahead and talk about a few spots that you want to look to for bats. There's only a couple of them here. There's a couple chalk spots, I feel like, and a couple maybe GPP spots like Boston and the Dodgers. But for your primary hitter positions, you want to have ample exposure to Atlanta, ample exposure to Houston. We'll talk about Atlanta first. John Lester pitching for the Cubs. He's a guy that's used to be an ace, but now he just struggled into this middling mid-rotation starter. These are his numbers last year. Pretty similar, 4.43 xFIP to both-handedness, a slightly lower K rate to righties than lefties, which is to be expected for a left-handed pitcher. Increased home run per 9 rate, 1.75 to lefties, 1.05 to righties. Struggling with hard contact above 30%, giving up his fair share of fly balls. And for those of you who are new to MLB DFS, John Lester cannot throw to first base. So any batters versus him, if they get on base, it's almost a free second base. Obviously, Wilson Contreras is back there. He's got a cannon for an arm. He can throw guys out. But for guys that you want to target here, all these lefty hitters like Ozzie Albies, Josh Donaldson, Ronald Acuna, Adam Duvall if he cracks the lineup. All these guys are in awesome spots. Even the lefties, as I mentioned, John Lester last year, 1.75 home runs per 9 to lefties. So look to Freeman, look to Markakis, look to all these guys, and just know that they all come with an increased stolen base upside just because they're going up against John Lester. And big note here in this game is the insane amount of movement that's coming in on Atlanta. Opened up at 4.2. They're up 0.6 runs at 4.8 right now. The whole over-under in that game is up. I think this is a great spot to get exposure to Atlanta. And if the lefties, like I mentioned, if the lefties go under-owned, get them in your lineup as well. SunTrust Park is super left-handed friendly. They have a short porch and right as well that Freddie Freeman and Markakis can just pepper if they're on. So Atlanta bats, one of my favorite spots of the day. And then Houston, going up against Mike Minor, who doesn't do really anything well. He used to generate ground balls at a decent rate. He doesn't even do that anymore. These are his numbers: 4.83 xFIP to righties, 3.16 to lefties, which is pretty good, but that home run per 9 rate is crazy. 1.91 to lefties, 1.33 to righties, and it's reflected in the kind of hard contact he gives up, almost 40% to both-handedness, almost a 50% fly ball rate to righties. So look to the standard righties that you look to in Houston: Bregman, Altuve, Springer, Correa. You can even mix in Michael Brantley if he's in the lineup to get a lefty that's going to be under-owned and as part of a great stack. I already went over the line movement, 5.1 to 5.4, so this is an absolutely amazing spot for Houston. So I think just loading up on these Houston bats, loading up on these Atlanta bats, maybe sprinkling in a one-off from Boston versus Marco Estrada, or a one-off from the Dodgers like Kike or someone, a good lefty hitter versus Derek Holland, makes a lot of sense. But I think the path to creating a good lineup is fairly simple on this 5-game slate. So yeah, I think that'll wrap it up. Again, I forgot to map out my home run calls for today, so let's just do this a little bit off the cuff. Outfield, I'm going back to George Springer. Leading off, he's going to get probably 5 ABs, maybe even 6 if Houston goes off versus Mike Minor. He's a lefty. He absolutely slugs lefties. And now he's hitting in a friendly ballpark for hitters, Arlington. So a big fan of him. And then my other home run call, actually I just noticed him when I was going through him. Adam Duvall, sub 4K. You know I like to do one high price, one low price. Adam Duvall, an absolute lefty master. He was last year, was the year prior. And now he's got a great matchup versus a soft tossing lefty in John Lester. Love him to go yard in this matchup if he cracks the lineup. Look towards him. I think he's a great play for 3.9K. So with that all being said, guys, thank you so much for checking out the video. Make sure to leave a like and comment as always to be entered into that weekly giveaway that we run. I hope you guys win a ton of money tonight, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Peace.